Now there's one objection here. One could argue, but if this is a rational principle, that you have to follow the experts themselves disagree. The experts themselves have various opinions, various contradictory fatwas. So how can the rational law of following the mujtahid, how can the intellect trust these experts when they disagree with one another? Because the argument is that whole system is invalidated, it's disqualified because there's so much disagreement. So now the intellect recognizes the haqq is not with them, the full haqq, because they disagree. So where's the haqq? The intellect is telling you follow them because you want to arrive at the truth. How can you follow at the truth when they're disagreeing with each other? Then the intellect knows, look, there's something that doesn't add up here. You have, let's say, 10 maraja', they have different fatwas, maybe 10% difference. Well, then I've lost the truth. I don't have access to 10% of the truth. So why do taqlid? That's an objection. The answer to that is, in fact, it's expected for them to have some differences of opinion. It's only natural. They are looking at the same truth. All the scholars are looking at the Quran. It's the same Quran that they're examining. And it's the same hadiths. They're looking at one image, which is the truth. However, how that image is reflected to them, the angle from which they're seeing the image will generate some minor differences. And that's only natural. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have an intersection here, Ford and Beach Daily. An accident happens. Now, before they install cameras on the intersections, when there is an accident, the police comes, they're filing for the accident report. They ask witnesses to testify what they saw, right? What is it exactly that you saw? Imagine if you have 4 witnesses. They're reliable and they're truthful. They're standing in 4 directions because you have an intersection. From each side, you have a witness who saw the accident. Now the police is writing exactly what these witnesses testified. Do you think you will get the same exact report from each witness? No. Why not? They're all truthful. No one's lying here. They all have good intentions. In fact, they're accurate people. They try to give you the most accurate description of the event that they saw in front of them. But why do you have some discrepancy in the report? Yes, they all agree on the big picture of what happened, but the details, there might be some differences. Why?
Different perception, different variables in terms of direction. So
different angles. I am seeing the accident from this side. I'm seeing what you don't see. It's only natural that you get these differences. The same concept applies to the maraja'. They're all seeing the hadith and the Quran, but each comes from their unique background. The sciences that they've learned, their understanding of the Arabic language, their understanding of history, their understanding of expressions and idioms. Because the Holy Quran is based on expressions and idioms. A lot of the statements are not to be taken literal. They have a meaning in the Arabic language. Well, each person can understand that slightly differently. So when you put the fatwa of the maraja' next to each other, 90% of it is the same. I can confidently tell you 90% of it is exactly the same. We have thousands of rulings, 90% are the same. That difference is in 10%, 5%. Why? Each is coming from a unique perspective. Does that mean the system is invalid? Absolutely not. They're looking at the truth, but how are they're seeing the truth and conveying the truth to you? There can be some variations and differences here. And it's the same with every professional field. You will have 100 doctors who graduated from Wayne State and they took the same exact courses and they all did well. And they passed the MCAT. Now when they're practicing and they're dealing with situations, yes, you can expect, that there is some level of consistency. Maybe in 80% of the issues they will give you the same prescription or they'll diagnose the same condition. But in 20% of the issues, 10% of the cases, there will be differences. Why? Didn't they study in the same university? Didn't they read the same texts? Didn't they have the same professors? Does that disqualify the system? Absolutely not. Because each has their own perspective. So this objection here does not invalidate the intellectual law that I still need to refer to an expert. Secondly, the intellect tells you, okay, what better alternative do you have? Fine. You don't want to refer to the experts because they disagree in 10% of the issues? What's your alternative? That's going to get you to the truth better than they would. Do you have a better alternative? Sit and flip a coin and say, okay, if it's heads, I'm going to implement this fatwa. If it's tails, I'm not.
Wait, that's wrong.
Seriously, what do you do?
Become a scholar.
Become a scholar. We said in the beginning, if you have the capacity to be a scholar, it's highly recommended to be a scholar. But let's say you don't. You're not an expert yet. What do? What's your other alternative? So the law of the intellect dictates that you should follow an expert.